Hi, I'm Frank Lyon. I'm a Cincinnati skateboarder, born on the east side, and I've been at it for 15 years. I've been teaching skate lessons and do a lot of work within the Cincinnati skateboarding community to help queer skateboarders, as well as just everybody get along and get moving on their board. So I definitely find myself a community-oriented person. I started teaching skate lessons over 10 years ago and offer mostly barters and trades for my skate lessons. I think it's really important to have alternative payment routes for things like that. I volunteer at 2/3 spaces and have worked with a couple friends to try to establish some trade routes for food and services. I think that there's a lot of people that could benefit from these communities, but they don't know they exist. I love skateboarding so much, but it is a boys' club. Because one thing in skateboarding is if you're good, you are accepted everywhere. But if you're not, that is not always the case. So to create spaces for people to learn skateboarding so that they can feel comfortable in all skate parks and all spaces is my end goal.
My name is Noelle Badalati. I am the editor-in-chief and co-founder of Surround Sound Zine. Surround Sound Zine is a monthly local publication, highlights and features local artists, venues. We use all original photography from our team members, and instead of using like Adobe Photoshop or any of those sorts of things, we make a lot of our pages by hand collaging. Local art matters for so many reasons. I think on a personal level, I really found myself in our local scene, and I wanted to highlight that and make everyone aware of what's going on. I also think that it's just a really radical idea nowadays to make a cognizant choice of the media that you're consuming. And it makes us something that we can be proud of as a city, as a community, and as a scene. I am of the belief system that art itself is inherently political. Throughout history, art has been used to convey the stories and messages of underserviced communities, minority communities, and I think it would be ignorant to ignore the fact that art doesn't convey these messages. In our zine, we've had different sort of local politics stories just because that's what people around here care about. People who are involved in the art scene know that politics is what can affect their livelihood as an artist, and these are the type of people that really care about that sort of stuff.
Hello, my name is Boston Hammond.
Hi, my name is Ethan Tharp.
I'm Ethan DeSico, and we're Fishbowl Live. Fishbowl has unofficially been a thing since November 1st of last year, 2024.
So the two main charities that we have worked with, the first one was Girls Rock Cincy. They're a youth women's music education program here in Cincinnati. We were able to raise $4,700 at Battle of the Bands through Music Club. And then in May, we had a show where we raised money for NAMI. It's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We raised about $1,600 for them. I think that having a DIY space is very different than having a professional setup. You know, we really try to adopt an environment that is deeply rooted in inclusivity and welcomeness. You know, not turning anybody away and starting to adopt this culture of the love of music and making everybody feel heard.
I think something else that, you know, we're doing is inspiring like a new generation of people to become local musicians and maybe be heard themselves. I think it could foster a community of people who care about music and, you know, have messages that they want to get out and get heard.
What I've seen is very successful with people that are trying to make a change is proactiveness and just doing it. If you're able to make a difference, you know, even if there are some negatives that are going to come from that, the positives of being able to change what people's mindsets are and what they care about, it's completely beyond music.
So my name is DJ Boywife, infamous, and I DJ, and I throw parties, and I produce, and I like host, I guess, and I mainly just serve cunt. So I started DJing in 2021, and it was an accident. I went to go see a friend of mine DJ, and it was just random because he said, "Oh, this is actually my finale show, and I'm moving to Dallas." And then he said it like during the set, and the bar manager pulled me aside and was like, "Well, what are we gonna do? You look like a DJ. Do you want to try it?" It really is a connection with these people that I have always wanted to connect with, you know? Like all these queer audiences and all of these like weirdos and underdogs. I get to really connect with them and make them feel seen. Primarily when I'm picking like a charity for the night, it's something that is either like topical or just really close to me. Transform Cincinnati is a big one I donate to a lot. The National Immigration Justice Center is also really important to me. It's always just really important to me to find something local and support it as much as I can. And also give the audience a chance to support, you know, because people feel helpless. And I think just presenting the opportunity to them to get involved is half of it. Like, it's fun to go out and it's fun to party and it's fun to dance, but it's also like, can we recognize that doing that is a privilege in itself? Like, having the money and the freedom to like do all these things that a lot of other people can't do. This might be a hot take. I think more people could spread these messages by just doing it, which is so simple. But like using your social media or using your show or using the microphone that you're given at your show, like, you have to take any kind of platform you have and make it bigger than yourself, because otherwise it's just like an ego project. What I've noticed in Cincinnati a lot is a lot of shows have like purposes now more than ever. DJs are raising money, bands are raising money, you know, art shows have like a portion of door sales going to something bigger than themselves. And I think it's heading in like the right direction.